No way.
Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jarrod.
And I'm Edwina.
And today we're doing a Once More With Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Today we're doing Season 5, Episode 1, Buffy vs Dracula. Dracula. I am Dracula, fucking. Fucking. This episode originally aired September 26, 2000, written by Marty Noxon and directed by David Solomon, Eddie.
All right, this is a full spoiler podcast. I'm a huge fan, but Jarrod has never watched the series all the way through, and I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
Well, we made it to Season 5. Is that something?
I can't believe we've made it to Season 5.
You know, it has been a bit of a slog this last few episodes, I think, maybe.
I think it was because we had a couple of double episodes and then a special episode.
Drained me.
Yeah.
It's tough work, isn't it, Eddie?
So
trying to get all these together. So what was like for you revisiting this episode and first time you watched it, Eddie?
I actually like this episode.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little episode. We go back to our Universal monsters for the last time, I guess.
So we've done Wolfman, we've done the Mummy.
Yeah.
And now we've done Dracula.
Yeah, we also had Creature from the Blue Lagoon.
Oh, which one was that?
That was Go Fish.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Well,
that's it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, we've had Jekyll and Hyde as well.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he Universal Monster?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he is, wasn't he? He was in
the
Dark Universe.
He was in the Dark Universe.
Remember that, kids? The Dark Universe.
See, the mistake that they made with the Dark Universe is that the moment The Mummy wasn't a huge success, they pulled the pin.
Now, actually, the problem was the trailer they released with the missing audio. I think that killed the movie more than anything, which is a shame, really. I
think because they wanted the same, I suppose, like with the MCU, they wanted the same, like those big bucks coming in, but what they're not remembering is that the MCU was...
They had to build that.
They built it, and it had very humble beginnings.
Yeah, it didn't really take off till Avengers, was it? That's when it really took off. You have to remember that. So you had your other
and the movies
and
gradually got bigger and bigger box office. It wasn't like the first movie got a huge box office.
No, it's Hulk.
Yeah, and then
people forget that Hulk was the first one.
Yeah. And it's also now it's owned by Universal. Like Marvel wasn't actually a thing.
Yeah. I know. Persevere. Should just persevere.
And they didn't own the right. And they still don't own the rights to Hulk. Like, he can only.
No, they own the rights to him.
No, they don't. Universal do.
Oh, really?
He can only have guest appearances in.
But they
movies.
made a Hulk movie.
Yeah, with Universal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, he can't have his own movies, so to speak, yet. I think their contract's nearly up anyway.
Okay.
And Marvel can buy them back.
Well.
Yeah, but Universal weren't assholes like Sony was with Spider-Man.
Okay. So anyway, Buffy.
Back to Buffy.
All right, so I'll do a quick recap and we'll get back to it. We begin this episode when Buffy is starstruck when Count Dracula himself sets his sights on seducing and turning Buffy into one of his vampire brides. Dracula, using his mysterious hypnotic charms, enlists Xander to be his aide and lure the Slayer to him. Giles tells Willow that he is going back to England. Riley gets a bunch of information about Dracula from Spike, but is warned that Dracula is too dangerous for him to take on alone. When the gang is discussing the plan of attack, they discover that Buffy is already under Dracula's spell.
It's under the thrall.
The thrall, yeah. Xander volunteers to have Buffy stay safely at his place, but he promptly delivers Buffy to Dracula's castle. They have castles in Sunnydale too, don't they?
Well, it just appears.
No,
what does Riley call it?
You ever notice a castle in Sunnydale?
Yeah,
no,
it was
like
a big dam, like something. I can't remember what he says. Big honkin' castle.
Honkin'.
Honkin', that's it. Really, he does have that weird old-fashioned language.
Honkin'.
Yeah, he says, one big, you know what I've never noticed in Sunnydale? A big honking castle.
As Buffy struggles to regain control of herself, Giles and Riley arrive at the castle. Xander tries to stop Riley from getting to Buffy as Giles finds himself seduced by the three sisters. Buffy, under Dracula's thrall, tastes his blood, causing a flash of memories that allows her to break free from his control. Buffy and Dracula fight in a vicious battle, and finally Buffy stakes him. After they leave, Dracula comes back from the dust, but Buffy is there and stakes him again, knowing he would come back. Giles prepares to tell Buffy he is leaving, but is blindsided by her asking him to be her watcher again, which he accepts. Later, Buffy enters a room and finds a strange girl going through her stuff. Joy shouts out that she should take her sister with her if she goes out. The end.
Dun, dun, dun! And they actually use that musical cue in this episode.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite dun, dun, dun. It's dun, dun, dun. But yeah, it's a dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Which is hard to find dun, dun sounds because I keep getting the Law and Order sound.
Oh, really? Of course you did.
All right, Eddie. So where do you want to start for this episode?
All right. So we are into season 5. So this is the season opener for season 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And guess what, Jarrod? Season 5 probably ranks lowest on my seasons.
Oh, really?
Of Buffy.
Not season 1?
No, I actually prefer season 1 over season 5.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah.
But this is a bad
no.
idea.
Well, you've got to hit. Well, season 6 is my favourite, so you've got to get through season 5 before we get to season 6. But I think you'll understand why as we start going through the episodes, and it's actually more for personal reasons that I have issues with this. Why I don't enjoy this season as much as the other seasons.
Yeah.
So, and it's not to do with the quality, it's not the writing. The big bad is actually better than the big bad from season 4.
So it just didn't gel with you?
Look, you'll work out why.
Okay,
as we
I'll
go
work out
along.
why. All right.
You'll work out why.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, the structure of this season is definitely very different. I think we hit sort of the arc very early on in
Well, I think that's a better move, to be honest. I felt like they leave things a little too late in the other seasons.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more arc episodes in this season. Like there's a lot less one-offs. But sometimes I really like the one-off comedic episodes. And yeah, Buffy versus Dracula is probably one of the few sort of breather episodes that you get.
I got to say I'm a little disappointed with this episode, if I was going to start off the bat.
Yeah?
I just felt like they could have done more with this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I felt like they got Dracula in there and they end up fighting him. And I just feel like Dracula doesn't punch people.
Yeah.
I was rewatching the fight scene again. I'm going, Dracula doesn't punch people. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think they needed to lean more into the campiness of it and perhaps show like that he's more of a charlatan.
Yeah.
That he's just really good at PR and he's just been romantic. He's spent his whole existence romanticizing the vampire mythology so that because he kind of gets off on the fact that he can kind of make these girls actually want to be vampires.
Yeah.
Like and as they said that they're like he feeds off them for weeks. And then turns them into vampires.
I feel like this film was really influenced by the Oliver Stone Dracula movie. Was it Oliver Stone?
No, it's Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, sorry, Francis Ford Coppola. All right. No, I'll leave that in there. Fuck it. I'm not perfect. Of course, the one with Gary Oldman within it. And that film...
Oh, no. So have you ever read the
years
Dracula
ago.
book?
Yeah.
It's a really, really... It's not an easy read. It's all done as letters and it's all letter. It doesn't have a narrative. It's all done as letters and diary entries and newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
What do you
I think it was an audio book. But the movie, just touching on that, it was very sexual, that movie. It was very sort of I don't know, what's the term, horny. If you watch it again, it's a different type of Dracula movie where it's less horror and more of the sexualization of Dracula. And maybe this was kind of feeding from that as well, because it was only less than 9 years since it came out when this episode was released. So I feel like that was maybe they were going for that a little bit with Dracula, or trying to seduce her as well, as he was trying to do with Winona Ryder a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, but again, that feeds, he's really good. Well, that's the other thing. Like, does media exist in this, in the Buffy universe the same as it does in our universe? Like, does that movie exist? Because in that case, he's still really good at PR because that has furthered his romanticizing of vampires.
Yeah. Well, it's what part of his lore though is real in the show though, because that's the thing. Because the original Dracula didn't touch on the Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the Impaler. So that part was only introduced in the Francis Ford Coppola film. Yeah. So usually they left that part out because he was inspired by other sort of famous figures as well. But Vlad the Impaler was the big one. Yeah. So is he based on that character or not? So that what type of Dracula is he? Is sort of the question. Is he a traditional Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah. He's actually meant to be Bram Stoker's Dracula. Right. Like, he's meant to be that Dracula. But as I said, I think they should have leaned more into, like, it would have been like, because his makeup is awful.
I was going to mention that, yeah.
I think they should have played more into it, like where you see him like applying the makeup.
But I don't think that was intentional, because keeping in mind this was 20 years ago before HD. Yeah. So I think this is just one of those casualties of high definition restoration. I notice makeup is usually the victim from that, because they do the makeup as you can see it. And they cake it on because they know that you won't be able to see that on camera. But as the high definitions come through, and I've seen that in other films as well, that the makeup is like, oh, geez, that looks terrible. Yeah, and it's because of that, I think.
To be honest, I kind of remember watching this
really?
back in the day.
Well, okay, I'll take your word for it. I
remember watching this on my crappy old, what do you call it, tube television, going, oh man, that makeup's not very good.
Really? Okay, all right.
But Buffy's hair looks amazing. Like, actually, that's the one thing I do notice from this episode. Buffy's hair looks like she's stepped out of a shampoo commercial in this episode.
Notice that. Okay.
Yeah, her hair's amazing in this episode. I think in this season, pretty much. I think she must have had some kind of hair deal at the time.
Don't bring back the baby bangs.
Oh, don't bring back the baby bangs.
I see that come up on Reddit all the time. Those damn baby bangs.
Yeah. Let's talk about Dracula's powers in this.
So his traditional powers where he turns into a bat, he turns into a wolf, and he turns into smoke, dust.
Yeah, so he can turn himself into mist.
Yeah, it's a mist.
So
moist mist.
Mist. And we have seen it kind of works for the lore in this universe, because we have seen that some vampires, the older they get, they have different powers. I think Drusilla had hypnotic powers. The Master had hypnotic powers.
But we've never seen transformation, though. That's a big step.
Yeah.
They never. Well, I suppose, how do you explain that? The vampires.
Well, he said that he's probably like a gypsy. So they've had those the Romanian gypsy kind of law within
people have turned into dogs in the show, so really it's not that much of a leap to think that another creature can do that.
Yeah, and we've had Amy turn into a rat and turn people.
Yeah, so people have already turned into animals.
What do you call it? Transmorphication?
Yeah, that works.
Transmorphication.
I'll allow it.
So we have had that in this universe, but it's one of those things that's very easily done with spells. You can just say it's done with spells. The other thing is, blame the wizards. Yes, but he doesn't vamp face.
No, he doesn't.
And his brides don't vamp face.
No,
they get the yellow eyes, but they don't fully vamp face out, but he gets the two little teeth. And you see when he bites Buffy, she's just got two little puncture marks there. Whereas when Angel and the Master bit her, like, you know, you can see like a full, almost a chunk has been taken out of her neck.
Very, very precise in his bites. He's like very sexy. He just moves in and just...
As I said, he does long bites that last for weeks.
Yeah.
So that's sort of his MO.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I just figured, because when I did see the title, and I figured that they might have done something like that. I was kind of expecting something like that. And I actually do remember you telling me about this episode when they actually meet Dracula and they're kind of starstruck. Oh, it's Dracula. And I thought they're going to play more into that a little bit, that he's a bit of a fanboy with all the vamps and he comes to town, he's a bit of a show pony or something like that. I thought they would really play it on the lighter side, but they,
And Buffy didn't
really
actually, and Buffy also didn't actually kill him.
And why didn't he die?
I don't know.
They never explained it.
Well, he also has these unexplained powers, so
He can't be killed then.
maybe he just can't be killed. But then he can't be bothered dealing with Buffy anymore. Buffy's not under...
Yeah.
When he can't put her under the spell anymore, he loses interest in her. Apparently he is in the comics.
Okay.
I did remember reading the comics because I think him and Xander goes back to visit him. And they're like friends and stuff. Like they've become really good friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not actually dead.
Well, no, I figured that considering the mist is still floating around.
I'm still here. Yeah. It's just he can't be bothered.
So, but how old is Dracula then? Because I can't remember from the original text of how old, but I mean, the story's only 150 years old, but obviously Dracula I wasn't born then.
Yeah. I thought it was set in the 15...
It's set in present day of the 1800s.
Yeah, it's in the 1800s.
When the book was written.
But when they show Vlad the Impaler, when was he around?
Yeah, but there's no mention of Vlad the Impaler in the original text.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that he was an inspiration for the character.
Yeah.
As among as other, I think the actual original idea of Dracula is kind of the anti-royalty sort of propaganda, as the way they saw famous people sucking the life out of the poor.
Okay.
It's sort of that propaganda of the anti-establishment. And and I think there was also some queen who used to feast on the blood of people as well. I can't remember her name, but she was also loosely inspired. But I think all that was bullshit, just more sort of propaganda of the anti-monarchy, I think.
Yeah.
That she would bathe in virgin's blood and stuff like that. I can't remember her name, but yeah, some infamous queen.
Yeah. And as I was saying before about the media and whether the same media exists in this universe as what it does in the Buffy universe.
Yeah.
So, like does the Bram Stoker's or Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula exist in this universe? And like she mentions Lestat.
Oh, yes. Yes, so Anne Rice is there.
Yeah. And Xander starts doing the
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. Dracula, and then says, "Oh, I wonder if he knows Frankenstein." And this is after we've just had there's been multiple Frankenstein-esque monsters in this series, including the last fucking big bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was surprised Giles didn't just pull out a copy of it and be like, "Oh yeah, we've known about Dracula for years. He's like the most famous vampire, and he should have pulled out a huge amount of books on him or something from the Watchers Council, because they're like, oh yeah, we've been following him for years."
You think they'd have a cabinet just dedicated to him virtually? I mean, he's able to pull out all these obscure things out of his ass, just open a book up and go, oh yeah, that's this guy,
Yeah.
He should have the Dracula folder, case, cabinet.
But he should have been like, oh yeah, the Watchers Council has known about him for years.
Yeah, see, again, I felt like another missed opportunity. I just felt like they would have known about this guy.
Well, considering they've got chronicles about Spike and Angel,
yeah,
why wouldn't they have a whole bookshelf on Dracula?
It seems like they inserted the character but didn't really know what to do with him. I think that's the issue, because I think the idea come from, well, let's make him like Dracula, or someone was saying something on those sort of something like that.
So they're in the writer's room.
Yeah.
And I think.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah. I did read this. They were in the writer's room, and they're going to have a Dracula-esque kind of character.
Yeah.
But they hadn't quite picked a name for it. And then Joss was just like, oh, just use Dracula. It's in the public domain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he been in many TV shows?
Yeah, there was a recent one on...
There's always a recent one.
Yeah, there was a recent one on Netflix.
I'm fairly certain he's probably the most used character in history in the past 100 or so years. Movies, TV shows, books, everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a...
Most represented character. His IMDb page is just full.
Well, as I said, he's really good at PR. So...
And just on that, coincidentally enough, a couple of months after this episode aired, the actor who played Dracula, Rudolph Martin, starred in a TV movie called Dark Prince: The True Story of Dracula. It released only a few months later, coincidentally. Though it does go more into the Vlad the Impaler. I keep saying Impala. I think he drove an Impala. And he dies at the end. So it's almost like playing into the inadvertently sort of putting some continuity between that show and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Yeah. I've already spoken about Buffy's hair. But I do want to mention she wears a few iconic outfits in this.
Is it the pink pants?
Oh my God, I love those pink leather pants. They are amazing.
How was the arse not ripped on those things?
Well, she had red, like she was back wearing the red leather ones again.
Yeah.
They were getting a bit of a workout in this episode. Yeah. Some of her outfits in this episode were pretty good. And then you got Xander in a sparkly
Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt.
That was a weird one.
Was that to make him look even more like goofy?
I think so.
Because they do turn him into like a Renfield. Like
he is Renfield.
He is Renfield pretty much.
Eating the spider.
Yeah. And it's weird because Xander's never wanted to be a vampire. He absolutely despises vampires. But he's romanticized into becoming a vampire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He thralled him as well.
Yeah, because you have to remember also there's remember that Sunshine Club?
Sunshine Club.
Back from season 2. There was the guy who had the brain tumours.
Oh, yeah.
And they were
the
like,
Roswell guy.
Yeah. And they worshipped
the vampires. That's right.
And there was one guy who was wearing a cape.
And the other guy was wearing Angel's outfit.
Yeah. And they pretty much worshipped. They just were watching Dracula on the...
Again?
Yeah.
Which Dracula was it? Was it
No, it was one of the
Bela
earlier...
Lugosi one?
One of the Bela Lugosi Draculas. And yeah, so as I said, I think... And they were all willing to become vampires.
Yeah.
And you had, what was it, Chanterelle? I think she was saying her name was. Who... I'll just call her Anne.
Yes, Anne.
And she was saying that what she called them that they're just misunderstood until she actually meets a vampire.
Yeah, is it PETV? People for Ethical Treatment of Vampires? PETV?
Yeah.
PETV, yeah.
So again, I'll just keep saying though Spike was sort of bagging, like Dracula did a lot of damage to vampires because everyone then knew what their weakness was. Which is,
again, that's something they should have played into as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but though everyone now knows their weakness, it is also romanticized. And
even that sort of answers the question. People know of vampires.
Yeah.
So they definitely know vampires exist
Yeah.
in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes that thing. How do you introduce a bad guy or a bad creature? Does it already exist in the universe already?
Yeah.
So like when you have zombies. So obviously in most zombie shows, people don't know what zombies are.
Yeah.
Where everyone would know what a zombie is because we've seen zombie films.
Yeah.
So often they do that. We've never seen them before. We don't know how it happens or what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder with vampires, do they even know what a vampire is? And obviously they do because the literature exists.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said, this season opener does kind of set up a few of the themes and ongoing sort of little plots that will happen throughout the season.
Well, it's just the one, isn't it, really?
No.
No? Oh.
No. So you have Giles you have Giles pretty much about, like, there's a bit of leftover residue, I think, from the episode Restless. So you get a few echoes happening in this episode.
Yeah.
From Restless. So you have Giles pretty much saying he's going back to London.
Well, he does say that.
Or going back to England.
Yeah.
I should say not London. He's going back to London. Like, he's going back to England to go get himself a life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Which, and he'd sort of had a dream about that. Like that's what his dream was about in Restless. And you have Buffy being literally restless that she can't sleep. And then she gets up, goes out, hunts down a vampire, kills him, and then it was like she had an itch she had to scratch.
When she woke up and she's like, use the toilet? No, I got to kill a vampire.
Yeah. So she had to kill a vampire and then she went back to bed, but she wasn't quite understanding why that happens. And then Dracula knew more information about her power than what she did. And I couldn't quite tell whether she was kind of playing him a little bit, whether she was actually under his spell or whether she was just trying to get more information.
Yeah, I couldn't work that out. So was it when she drank the blood she snapped out of it, or was she out of it the whole time?
I think once she drank the blood, she kind of realised that he didn't have any more information than what she had.
Right, okay. But I'm saying, was she under a thrall and she snapped out of it?
I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time it's happened. Because it happened with the Master as well. Like he couldn't put her back under a hypnotic spell.
Yeah. And she snapped out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dracula questions Buffy if she really knows what a Slayer is. And he also calls her a renowned killer, which she doesn't like.
There's that word again.
There's
killer.
that word again, killer. And I did say that this would be something that she would start to explore, is what is the difference between a Slayer and a killer and what it actually means to be a Slayer. And so now she has enlisted Giles to pretty much be her watcher again and help her work out what it actually means to be a Slayer and actually understand her power.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now the next thing I want to talk about that's also an ongoing kind of sore point, and also I think a bit of residue from Restless, is Riley in this episode is very, very jealous.
Well, he was in her room biting her.
Yes.
Had a bit more just cause than usual, though, I think.
Yeah, but even before that happened, he was like, when she was really, really excited that she had met Dracula, he was, yes, I didn't understand you the first 500 times you said that. So, but yeah, he's very, very jealous.
Well, it is Dracula. I'd be jealous too.
But yeah, because Buffy lets Dracula bite her, that does lead to some issues down the line with Riley.
Goodbye.
And the other thing is with whenever I see Riley in this season, I'm just like, ugh, you still here? Thought we were going to get rid of college boyfriend by now.
Don't worry.
And the other big thing,
Which is?
which is the appearance of Dawn.
Right, so they've been
Prophesizing.
this for some time now.
Yes, since season 3. I think it
Winter
was.
is coming. Dawn is coming.
Dawn is coming. Yes, so we get the game changer. The little sister appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's weird.
Now, when I first watched this on air, I was so confused. And the internet was out, but I personally did not have access to the internet at that time.
Can I ask you this question? Because I read that apparently in Australia, this was shown as a season 4 finale, this episode.
No, it wasn't.
No? Is that bullshit?
That's bullshit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that episode. Okay.
No, we got restless.
You got Restless. So that wasn't the season finale?
No,
No.
that's bullshit.
Okay. Have to delete that. How do you delete stuff off IMDb?
I don't know. Yeah, but that's bullshit. Yeah, but I was so confused. I was like, oh my God, did she have this was also before I don't think I'd been rewatching.
Did I miss an episode?
Yeah, did I miss an episode? Yeah.
Was an episode beforehand? Is this the second episode or something?
Yes, it had me questioning that. I was like, oh, maybe she always had a sister. And no, they've definitely never mentioned a sister before. Maybe she's been living with Hank, you know, but I'm like, no, there definitely wasn't a sister.
So rewatching episodes, anything mentioned about a sister? No, nothing.
And then, you know, I sort of was getting angry. I'm like, they better not be trying to just shoehorn in a younger character.
We need to freshen up the cast a little bit. You need to have a sister.
Yeah, like, because that's what they used to also do. What do they call it? It was like the cousin Oliver.
Or the new character, yeah.
Yeah, so they have to, because they're no longer high school age, they then have to bring in a high school character.
Who's Cousin Oliver?
He was in the Brady Bunch.
Oh, right, yes.
He was like, once Cindy was no longer super cute, like she started to grow up.
Yeah, I think I've heard the term Cousin Oliver before. Yeah.
So they bring in Cousin Oliver towards the end of the series run, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, once the children sort of grow up, they need younger kids in there again.
Yeah,
so, yeah. I remember something happened similar with Different Strokes as well. I can't remember his name, but when Mr. Drummond started dating another woman who had another son.
Oh, okay.
And he was quite young, and so he became the young, cute kid for a while. Because Gary Coleman was like nearly 20 or something, I think.
Yes.
But otherwise, he still looked young, but yeah.
Yeah.
Did you twig something was going on?
I did kind
you
of.
think they're doing something?
I think in the next episode it does kind of, you do get twigged to the fact that it's not something that hasn't happened before in the series where a character is all of a sudden the main character, like what we had happen in Superstar. Because we've had that happen before, we've experienced this before already, so it's not an uncommon thing to happen in the show.
Yeah.
So to speak. So we know that there's the capabilities of doing this.
Of just throwing a new character in there, yeah.
Yeah. But you know it's a spell. In the next episode, it is explained. Like, they do actually explain it pretty quickly.
I thought they drag it on for ages.
Yeah,
or
I thought that they would drag it on for a bit longer, but they actually don't drag it on as long as you would expect.
Okay. What, like the next episode, is it?
No, I don't think it's explained in the next episode, but it's not. Like, it might be in like the 4th episode that they explain it. But yeah, they don't, like, because you have to remember the initiative was teased for like 12 episodes.
Yeah, there's a long build up to them, yeah.
Yeah. I also hate Dawn. That's the other thing. I'm not a big fan of.
Not a fan of Dawn?
No. Like, she's a deliberately annoying character that they add in.
Buffy, if you're going out, why don't you take your sister? Mom!
Yeah. On another note, the beach at the start of the episode.
I was getting some Psycho Beach Party vibes from that.
But it was a pretty ordinary beach.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It wasn't very spectacular looking.
It actually looked like there must have been like an industrial plant or something nearby.
Is that the beach where they steal that guy's hair on Point Break, maybe? Or there's like a big industrial
I don't know.
sort of plant nearby?
I can't really say I know my Californian beaches, but I don't know. That one didn't look particularly nice.
I mean, it must be in California somewhere. Just maybe not the fancy ones. I need a beach where people aren't going to go, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they were like private properties built on the beach.
I get to notice that.
I noticed a few like houses built on. You don't really get that in Australia. Like, houses built that on the beach.
No.
Well, there must be some places, but it's not very common.
No.
But yeah, it looked a bit rocky. That was the other thing. Didn't look like a nice beach.
No.
And did you think that Willow caused the storm?
Yeah, didn't she cause the trade-off because she made fire? It caused rain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always find this a bit confusing because in the Dracula books, he has the ability to create stormy weather because it keeps the sunlight low.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
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 Because it was like always raining and gloomy over the castle. Yeah. So I actually
no
thought
glitter for you, huh?
Yes. So I actually thought it was Dracula.
Foreshadowing Dracula?
I thought it was kind of hinting that it was Dracula's arrival.
Yeah. Oh, what's with his dirt?
Maybe it has to do with how he does his spells.
Okay, because remember when they're unloading him.
Well, that's from the books as well, that he needs his dirt to sleep in. He can't leave Transylvanian soil.
Oh, is that what it is?
So maybe he needs the soil, the literal.
Oh, and as they're unloading his coffin thing, you hear the dun dun music, and it's ripped off. Well, I don't know if it's ripped off, but it's the same one that's used in that weird little Christmas message from Kevin Spacey as the Frank character from House of Cards, which I heard straight away.
Yeah.
So you can hear that. And this is the one that Kevin Spacey used at the end of his one. Yeah?
Oh, okay. They are pretty much identical.
Yeah.
I still think they used that same one in The Simpsons.
Possibly.
But I can't pinpoint where. And it might not be the same. It might be a bit different.
I did find some that were slightly different. But that's exactly the same one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all my talking points. So had you seen this episode?
I think I have. I think I have seen this episode.
I think we might have started dating. What year did this?
2000. It came out.
What month?
September 26, 2000. So
I think we start dating around about
a couple of months from here, I think.
Yeah.
November. So it would have been a few months later. So yeah, okay, all right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're probably going to have seen a few more.
So this is when I was going to start seeing it. Yeah, I definitely remember watching this one, the Master Beta line.
Oh, okay.
Him keep coming back, part. So I definitely remember that.
Okay.
I don't know if I saw it then, though, because I could have sworn you mentioned this to me sometime later about them meeting Dracula. So
yeah.
Probably when you're rewatching it for the 50th time.
Probably on one of the millions of rewatches.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you go down any rabbit holes?
Well, not quite a rabbit hole, but on a follow-up from last week, when you mentioned something about 7:30.
Yeah.
So
730.
730. So you mentioned that Faith says it.
Yeah.
In the graduation episode.
Yep. Graduation day.
And you said that it's meant to be 730 days until
the gift.
Until she dies.
Yeah.
And I call bullshit on that.
I call bullshit on it.
And I thought, these things are always dumb. And I thought, that'd be easy to check. Well, I checked it. So I counted from how many days. From 1999, it was 202 days to 2,365 to 2001, 142, and I came up with 728. However, I didn't count the first day of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we're counting that, and I miscounted the year 2000 because it was a leap year.
Yep.
There's 366 days, which brought us to 730 days.
So it was correct.
It was right.
Wow. I actually thought that was one of those ones that had almost turned into just a myth.
Yeah, I did too. I thought,
Like-
that's bullshit.
Like someone's just made that up and popped it on IMDb, and now it's absolutely everywhere. So therefore, it's law. No one would ever check it.
No one would ever check it. Exactly. Who would actually go through
Who would
and
actually
count
go
it and
through-
check it?
yeah.
Well, thankfully I did it, so you don't have to. So was that intentional?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 7:30. Well done, Joss. You know how to count. All right, Eddie, do you want to go into question time?
Yes. Let's do question time.
Answer the question.
Okay, Jarrod, which character was your favourite in this episode?
Dracula.
Dracula.
I am Count Dracula, fucking.
Yeah, Dracula's good in this. I just wish they'd made him more of a charlatan.
Yeah. Done something with him at least.
Yeah.
Instead of him just kung fu fighting.
Yeah. Done a little bit
It was a
more
bit too
with him.
goofy that I thought.
Yeah.
Dracula doesn't punch people.
Yeah. Lean more into the camp.
Yeah. Camp it up.
Yeah. Which character do you love to hate?
I think Riley was my love to hate in this episode.
I got Riley too.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. LOL moment.
Can we say, I suppose, Dracula gaslighting Buffy?
Please explain.
Literally gaslighting, like in the gas?
What do you mean?
When he was in the gas and he was like fluttering up and she kills him?
Oh, okay.
I called it gaslighting.
Oh, gaslighting. Okay.
Is that really gas-slaying?
Gaslighting. Yeah, mine's probably Giles trying to get back into the chick pit with the Dracky babes.
So were they biting him?
I don't know. And like when he's trying to get back in to get his shoe.
It didn't show them any bites on him or
Well,
anything.
he didn't have any bites on him, and they just sort of jumped on top of him and were kind of snuggling
just
into him.
bloody furries.
Well, he seemed to be enjoying it, whatever they were doing.
Well, they weren't hurting him. It didn't look like it.
yeah,
So
it didn't look like they were hurting him.
yeah, he didn't seem to be any pain.
Yeah. So, yeah, the chick pit.
The chick pit. Yeah.
Yeah, on the Dracky babes. At least you weren't making out with the Dracky babes. Favorite fight scene?
Well, I mentioned before how goofy the scene was with Buffy and Dracula fighting, but in all intents and purposes, it was a good fight scene.
Yeah.
I just think it
Just
worked
didn't
well
feel-
with Dracula doing it.
Just
yeah.
didn't feel right that Dracula would be
Yeah,
fighting
I kind of
her.
feel like it broke the sort of moment really when that started happening. Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually have it as my favorite fight scene as well, but it's kind of the only fight scene.
Yeah, exactly.
There were a few vampire, like her hunting vampire scenes.
It was very brief though.
Yeah, and they kind of felt like a leveled up player playing from the start of a video game where they're just absolutely just powering through, destroying everything.
Did all the side quests before the first boss sort of thing. So you're like massively overpowered.
Yeah. That's sort of what it feels like when she was doing that. So her fighting Dracula felt a bit more equal. Like he doesn't really even, in the end, he's just like, I'm out of here.
I'm done.
Yeah. Look, he kind of goes, well, this backfired on me. All right. Favorite scene?
The Buffy and Dracula bed scene, I guess.
Okay.
With him just also breaking another law. He can just walk in houses.
Oh, no, he didn't just walk in.
He gassed in.
No. It's revealed that Joyce let him in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
She let that guy in.
Yeah.
I just thought it was one of your vampire friends.
No, she was like, oh, he's really handsome. And and like she's talking to Willow and Tara are doing a spell to stop him from being able to enter again, and Joyce is talking to them about it. She's like, I'm so lonely, you know, when you'll get to my age, you'll understand about men, like something that makes you want to just give up. I think she says something about make you want to give up on men altogether. Type thing. Oh yeah, my favourite scene is probably when Dracula introduces himself to Buffy and she sort of does that, get out, just kind of a bit starstruck by him. Kind of a cute little moment.
Yeah.
Least favourite scene, Jarrod?
Oh, it's another Willow rambling.
Which one?
Oh, which she keeps mentioning about Giles and how, she keeps hinting that, isn't it so good to have Giles here to help us and do all this stuff. I know he did, even though he did nothing except get down with the Drac girls.
Yep.
The Dracky babes.
Have some fun with the Dracky babes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like the parts with Xander eating the bugs. Ew. Who picks up a spider? You don't pick up spiders here.
No. They pick you up.
They pick you up.
Had one last week.
Yeah. You don't pick up spiders and eat them because they could be venomous.
Or make you trip balls.
Yes. Favorite quote?
So this is Willow and Xander. Willow, well, I think we have Dracula factoids. And Xander, like any of that's enough to fight the Dark Master. Everyone stares at him.
Beta.
Then
the Dark Prince.
Beta. Yeah, the Master. Beta.
Yeah.
It's code for wanker.
My favourite quote is you think you know what you are, what's to come, you haven't even begun. Which is also a echo from Restless.
Thanks, Natasha.
So Tara says that line in Restless.
Yes, yeah.
And then he quotes it right back to her. So I get the feeling he might have some psychic abilities, maybe.
Just unlimited, really, at this moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of precog, like what Drew had.
Yeah. Yeah, jack of all trades.
Yeah. Who gets the wooden spoon?
I think the makeup department. Get the wooden spoon.
Touche. I can't top that. I
know it was with the close-ups of him at the end was really noticeable. So I don't know whether it's just that scene. And I did give grace. I'm thinking maybe this is just one of those things.
As I said, I honestly think they needed to play into it more where you like see him like putting his makeup on and like putting his teeth in. And like talking to like the three sisters and being like, you know, you've got to use these teeth. Like I've given you this spell that makes your teeth grow. You're not to do your vamp face because like the older you get, you're going to end up getting stuck in the vamp face, and we don't want that to happen.
No.
Like
getting all wrinkly.
Yeah, you want him there going, you know, I don't do my vamp face. Because I want to stay looking as human as possible, but just really pale.
No wrinkle face, ha 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 ha.
And not have that accent. Like no accent.
You don't like this one.
Yes.
I have vamp voice, yes.
Yes.
And no good for this. Jarrod, I tell you.
Yeah, as I said, they needed to do like play into it a bit more.
Yeah.
Or even like where you just see like when she goes into the castle, like you have Riley come across like his makeup table or something.
Oh, actually, you know what would have been better?
What?
Like his paraphernalia room where he's got like all posters and stuff of Dracula movies and stuff like that.
Yes.
You know, it's got like Bela Lugosi dolls and stuff that, and he's even got Lestat, little Tom Cruise stuff like that, and rice books, like a whole shelf full of them.
Yeah.
No, that's hilarious. Even like the original, the costume from the Munsters father, the Pops, who was like a Dracula character.
Yeah, have him be like a fanboy of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A real narcissist.
Yes. Yeah.
See, there's so many things we could have done,
Yeah.
just that. Yeah, whole room just set up like that.
Yeah. And then have like his little makeup chair in the corner.
Yeah, and you see all the white makeup, the powder, things. Yeah. Missed opportunity.
Who's the MVP of the episode?
It's Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy saves herself. She's Van Helsing in this story.
They could have mentioned him too. Have they mentioned Van Helsing?
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't really get mentioned. There is, because in Buffy, technically she is Van Helsing. There is a kind of Van Helsing character in Angel, Holt. Holt, is that his name? That comes into it. And he's like a vampire hunter guy with like long wavy hair.
See, again, we don't know what Dracula this really is, do we? So that's So we don't know if it's Bram's or if it's some other weird concoction or something else. So whether Van Helsing is real or not is also part of the story that we're not sure if he's part of. So yeah.
Oh well, if Buffy, I was going to say if Buffy's Van Helsing. You've got Xander as Renfield. Then you've got, I suppose Riley's supposed to be Jonathan Harkness.
Is that the boyfriend of the
Keanu Reeves in the movie?
No way.
But then Giles sort of gets attacked in the similar way that he gets attacked by the three sisters.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Anyway. What do you rate this episode out of 10?
I gave it 4 eaten spiders.
I gave it 5 out of 10 sparkly Hawaiian Xander shirts.
Oh, that's nicer. Now eat my spiders.
Yeah. Gross. Yeah.
All right, Eddie, was there anything else you wanted to add?
We didn't even mention Spike.
Oh, you briefly mentioned him in a recap. Yeah, Spike was in this. Oh, hang on. Actually, maybe I just found the answer to what I just said before about Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
I did read in the comics that Dracula ripped up a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula that cost £14.
£11.
£11.
And that's what...
And that's what he owes him £11 for.
Yes.
Apparently that is a story in the comics, I think.
Yes. I did read that as well.
Yeah. So maybe, okay, it's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Oh, we don't know if it is. Sorry. No, we don't know.
I would say it is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, he just ripped up the book, but it doesn't mean that's the Dracula from the book.
Well, I'd say it is. That's sort of the whole point.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well, we'll just go and wrap this up. I'm just going to push this button, Eddie.
Yep.
And push
go
it
ahead.
now.
Go.
Now?
Go for it.
All right. Pushing it. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to us tonight. We are Nerd Subculture. My name is Jarrod.
And I'm Edwina.
And if you want to listen to more episodes of the podcast, where can you find us, Eddie? Well, yeah, I suppose where you listen to this one right now, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you want to find us on social media, you can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There is a Facebook group. And you can email us at nerdsubculture@gmail.com. And if you want to help the podcast, follow the link tree in the socials to the merch store.
I really butchered that outro, didn't I?
Yeah, you certainly did.
All right. I'll leave it at that. Take care. Bye.
You're going to have such an easy time editing this.
I'm a vampire!